It's now time to dive into non-biased and clean conversations with Uplifting Buzz Podcasts with your hosts, Gary Johnson and Marcus Grove. Why wait? Let's dive on in.
Well, we're glad to be back on this awesome and wonderful Tuesday for another episode of Uplifting Buzz podcast with your host, Gary Johnson, and my wonderful co-host, Mr. Marcus Grove of Uplift Mobile. And this show being presented to you by Buzz Report Media and Uplift Mobile, as we so honored to have each and every one of you, as always, join us right here on Uplifting Buzz podcast. It's been a great experience and an honor to bring this show your way on a weekly basis for the latter part of this year of 2025. And we want to just, say thank you to each and every one of you, our dedicated listeners, those that have shared the podcast and, listen to us on a weekly basis or every other week. We say thank you for being a supporter of Uplifting Buzz podcast. As always, we just give our disclaimer and remind you that this is a non-biased conversation, and we try to bring you non-biased conversations on a weekly basis as well. But again, we want to thank each and every one of our listeners for supporting us thus far in 2025. I know we got started in the latter part of 2025. But those that remain faithful and supported us through this time as we get ready to go into a new year, we want to say thank you for joining us right here on Uplifting Buzz on Tuesdays and Thursdays each week, right here on Uplifting Buzz podcast. We have some more interesting topics to talk about. As always, when we leave the airways, there's something new is happening around the city of Mobile or this country. But we're going to dive right on into this show on today for some more good hot topics and those things that are happening around us that we think you should know about right here on Uplifting Buzz podcast. Mr. Grove, how has your weekend been? And man, I'm telling you, as always, there's something new that's going on.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. My weekend's been great. Just been, looking at the local news here, and also
Okay.
in the
Seems like we
national
lost
level as
Mr.
well.
Grove.
And
But
I
as
just
always,
think that
as we wait for him to come
important.
back, just want to remind you that this is the Uplifting Buzz podcast, where we bring you non-biased conversations right here on Uplifting Buzz podcast, and we'll be working to get Mr. Grove, our co-host, back here very shortly. We lost his audio. But we'll be working to get him back onto this podcast, because we do want to talk about two good hot topics on today. That is, in the news, and that we feel that you should, know about. I'm pretty sure that you have already heard about it, and that's the recently passed ordinance by the Mobile County Commissioner in regard to limiting free speech there in Government Plaza, inside of Government Plaza, when it comes down to protesting and voicing your free speech there inside of Government Plaza. And also the news that broke yesterday in regards to the city of Mobile not paying their fair share, or not, they're obligated, I didn't say fair share, but they're obligated to do this, to pay their rent that they agreed to there in Government Plaza to house the administration portion of the city there in Government Plaza. That's where, all the offices are, the council, mayor's offices, all of your departments, offices, majority of those is housed there in Government Plaza on that east wing as well. in the council chambers, hosted council meetings there at Government Plaza. And then you have your zoning boards and, historical commission boards and all of those that's held there at Government Plaza from the city side. And of course, the county commission, houses their offices in the county courts and so forth there at City Hall. But this has been, some interesting news over the last 24 hours in regards to the city not paying their obligated duties to the county. But I do want to get deeper into that on today a little bit because I thought that there was some type of agreement when they built this Government Plaza. And I may be mistaken as well on all of that. But let's go back to our first topic, talking about the free speech aspect of the ordinance that was passed by the Mobile County Commission about a couple of weeks ago, limiting, how you protest and, voice your free speech inside the government plan. I think we have Mr. Grove back. I hear his audio. So you had a good weekend, Mr. Grove, and I was, letting the audience know what we were talking about on today. But yeah, how things going with you, man? And we'll dive into the free speech ordinance that how the county commission trying to limit, what people can do and say inside the government plaza.
Yeah, so I've been doing pretty good. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of signal interference, but I just think that these are some great topics to talk about, especially in this era. It's kind of we're on the brink of the intro of the new mayor's reign, and with these things kind of coming about, it's just interesting, to see. I guess in hindsight now, how things have came about. So, I've been doing pretty good though. I've been doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Yes, everything going good, man. Had a great trip on this Amtrak. Rode it for the first time out of Mobile to New Orleans on this past weekend, man. As I was telling you earlier, everything was cool, smooth sailing, smooth ride. The train actually quiet, outside of the little bumps, when you're crossing over the rail crossings and stuff like that, over the streets and stuff. But and then hearing the horn blow. But other than that, man, once you're having a good conversation, or if you sleep, or you get your earbuds in or headphones on, you probably won't even notice that. But other than that, man, great food. The service was great, as I was telling you. The staff on the train was awesome. It was just a great ride. So I enjoyed myself, even though I've been in New Orleans many times. I go to New Orleans often. And I can't say you get there fast in the car, but on the train, the scenery, and just knowing that you're on the train, man, it takes away the stress on being on the highway, worrying about accidents, all types of stuff, getting gas, and I was telling you earlier, on the train, man, you got the cafe. They have hamburgers, turkey, ham sandwiches, case candy, soda, water, tea. And you asked about the bar, man. They got a bar on there. You can get all kind of alcohol, wine. It's just nice. That's all I can say. It's a nice trip, man.
Wow.
It's a nice train. And speaking of the train, there was a report came out. The first report of the ridership was doing better than expected, with 46,000 passengers that have traveled on this train thus far since lunch again here on the Gulf Coast, and they're thinking that it's going to triple the numbers to expectation by next year. And there's already now talk that the permanent structures should be started being built downtown for the covering, so people want to stand out there in the rain, because they have a temporary tent down there. But that should start mid year of next year. So that's good news, positivity, and I'm glad to see the train back. I would hope it would have went on into Jacksonville, Florida, where people can get down into Florida and go, the East Coast as well. Hopefully that's still coming soon. But just knowing that the train and just having it back from Mobile to New Orleans and people can transfer in New Orleans, go to other places, man. Just to, people can go any day. Not only just New Orleans, they can stop in Biloxi, they can stop in Gulfport, Bay St. Louis, and wherever they want to go. And bringing people into the city. That's another plus, the revenue, and it's way of getting people to come to Mobile. So I'm just glad to have a train back, man. It was a great ride. But I encourage you to get on there and go.
Yeah, I definitely want to get on there, and I think that for a lot of people who may be having ailments or different type of handicap situations, you mentioned that it is handicap accessible and accessible for people, and and they're very friendly down there as well.
Right. Yeah, and they got heat. So you want to, if you're worried about if it's heat on the train, I had to pull my jacket off because I had gotten so hot on the first when we was going. It wasn't so hot when we was coming back. I guess they adjusted the temperature, but man, it was super hot going down there because it was cold that day and raining. So I guess they were trying to accommodate the older people, but. Man, it's a nice experience. When it comes down to handicap accessibility, man, they make accommodation for you. Like we didn't plan any accommodation. We did not notify them that we had a person that was, had a handicap issue, or slow walking issue or whatever. But once they saw her, they made accommodations that we didn't even know anything about. I mean, they came and let us know. So I appreciated them for that. I thought that was real nice of them, and it let you know that they was very attentive about who was getting on the train and their passengers. So that was really neat and nice of them.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
And the good thing about it, man, it's not expensive. Round trip on the weekend, $60 outside of events. I'm gonna tell you this: if there's anything going on major, such as Mardi Gras, Saints games, Pelican games, concerts down there, they're gonna hike the prices up. Just be expected of that outside of a normal day. And then during the weekdays, it's even cheaper during the weekdays, Monday through Thursday. You can go down there for $20 and come back for $24. It's $48 round trip. You just can't beat that. But going on the weekends, a round trip $60, you still can't beat that. And then you have many ways to get around when you get there. You got the trolley, the train, you got the taxis, Uber, Lyft. And it's affordable. So, and there's a lot of hotels down there, downtown. And man, the mall, the Riverwalk Mall is right there downtown. Yes. We went there, man. A lot of your upscale stores like Guess, Macy's, all this stuff there. The cruise terminal is right down. It's just nice. It's just nice. Everything is downtown, right there around the Union Station downtown. And Superdome was like right next door to the train station. And that night, then when we arrived on Friday night, there was a big Brandy concert down there. And it was just jam packed downtown. So it was a little minute for us to get our transportation to our hotel because of that. But other than that, it's great. That's my report. It's a great trip.
Awesome. You make me want to go, man. I think I'm gonna plan a trip.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting back on there, man, again this month, just to go. That's how I enjoy it. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was saying the same thing. I was just thinking about going for my birthday at the end of this month, for New Year's, and just go back down there, stay about 4 or 5 days, and just come back. I don't think I have to worry about really paying for just my hotel, because that little train fee. I mean, that's nothing.
That was affordable, huh?
Yeah, I mean that's good. It's awesome, man.
So how long is it from your perspective?
Well, I can say about 3.5 hours. Okay. And reason being, and this is what I experienced on the train. It stops in Pascagoula, Biloxi, Gulfport, and Bay St. Louis. And at each stop, it stops about 15, 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's letting people on, letting people off, checking the tickets and scanning tickets and, all that type of stuff. And then along the way, it slows down when it goes through municipalities. The speed reduces. Um, and also it slows down because you're going to pass a Amtrak train coming to Mobile as you
Mm-hmm.
are going to New Orleans, and vice versa. You're gonna pass one going to New Orleans while you're coming back to Mobile. So you're pull over to the rest tracks and let that bypassing train shoot by, and you'll see it shoot by, and and then that train gets back on the track, and it proceeds. Other than that, that what slows the trip down, I think. And if it wasn't for that, and then if the speed was greater than 6 or 7 miles per hour, in some spots, like maybe getting up to 75 mile per hour, I think you can get there in 2 hours, but in an hour and a half, like a car. But that's the only thing that slows it down, and you really won't notice it unless you're really paying attention. But you will notice the plane comes to a complete stop at those other stops that it has to make, like in Biloxi, in Pascagoula, Gulfport, and St. Louis. But other than that, man, it's rolling, it's smooth. I like it.
Wow. All right.
And it worked for 3 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of people on that train. And when I was on there, and you could walk, and you could travel to every car. I mean, because you gonna have to travel every car if you're gonna go to the cafe, because it's at the latter part of the train.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll have to you can walk throughout the whole train. The restrooms are clean, trash bins are clean. It's spacious, and you can bring your own food on there if you don't want to buy that from the cafe. That's a good thing. It's good. I drunk all their coffee. I bought their coffee. Coffee $3 a cup. I bought several cups of coffee because I love coffee, and that made my train ride really smooth.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds
So,
good.
man, the Mobile County Commission passed this new ordinance about a couple of weeks ago, limiting what protesters can do inside of government plaza when they're voicing, having free speech on certain issues or protesting and such like that. I just want to talk today a little bit about it and get your perspective on the limiting of free speech, especially a building that the citizens are paying for with their tax dollars. Telling them what they can and cannot do, and say, I understand, some things you cannot do, but for someone that want to come down and voice their concerns and so forth, in a manner they wish to do it, whether it be by signage, shirts, hats, people have a right to voice their opinion. What's your thoughts on this new ordinance?
Well, the Mobile County Commission is definitely attempting to spread its muscle in a lot of different ways. As you know, in the past, they really came off kind of standoffish in a lot of ways, but you see them stretching their muscle, even with the other topic that we're talk about today. And generally, government plazas are considered traditional public spaces for free speech. But we've seen the Mobile County Commission to vote against that. Not necessarily the city of Mobile or any other cities, but the actual commission, which is a little bit strange. And in fact, because of the fact that they actually own that building, is also comes down to their ability to stretch their muscle. So basically, if and when someone does attempt to override that element of control speech, they can be potentially arrested, right? So I think it's their way of trying to manage as much as they can that space because of the increasing, public outrage to different things. I think that in a lot of ways they're trying to build a kind of public understanding that this is a more safer space, so you can't just come in this space and be disruptive and, create tension where it's not already. So in a lot of ways, I think that the County Commission is trying to one stretch their muscle, but also um, control that free speech in an area that has traditionally allowed for free speech to reign. It's kind of strange. It's kind of strange. What is your take on it?
Yeah, I just, I'm just still having a problem, when you're trying to limit a person how they should voice their opinion, um, and especially in a government setting where citizen tax dollars are at work. You know, citizens are paying for these facilities with their tax dollars. It's not like anyone on that county commission put up their own money to build the government plaza. And it's not like they only put themselves on the county commission. The same people that you eliminate is the ones that voted for you, and those are the ones that are paying for that building. With the citizens' tax dollars. So I'm not with the ordinance. Um, um, I just share some reserve on it. I don't like limiting people their rights to for their voices to be heard. Put it that way. I think every voice should be heard, whether like I said, regardless of how a person want to express it, like it was signage, clothing. And let me say this: I'm not saying a person can go out there and say anything or wear anything. I think it should be done decent and in order, but they should not be limited. Not for not wearing a shirt inside the government plaza, bringing a sign inside the government plaza or outside of it. Or letting a certain group of people go down there and do this, but you can't do that. Let's be fair across the board. And especially when it comes to free speech, let the people speak, let the folks, demonstrate, how they feel about, certain things.
Yes, definitely. And you see that all across even the federal level, that freedom of speech and freedoms are being limited. Freedom isn't so free anymore that we're seeing, and it's even happened on a national level.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And just in the same building, man, right across the hall. And like I told you, man, every time we leave the airways, there's always something happening, and it is worth talking about. I just can't believe the city of Mobile hasn't paid rent in a building that they're housing or they're sitting there or resting in for months, up to a tune of around $3 million. And I find it very disturbing. One, that they haven't paid the rent that they were obligated to do, and two, the new current mayor, Spiro Cheer, got to say it should have been a private matter and nothing public. Why should it be private? Why it should be private? That you don't uphold transparency that you advocated for, you campaigned for, and you want it to be private because you all failed and neglected to do the duties that you're supposed to be doing as a government, and you expect people to pay fines, tickets, all of this type stuff on time, and you can't pay the rent that you are using the space that you were using it for. I'm blown. The wind just took me away when I, saw this. I just can't believe it.
Yeah.
And then you want to have the nerve to say, well, I think the government, city government should move out of the government plaza. oh, they should move out all of a sudden because you fail or you all fail to pay your rent. The city, the county commission, it's not the county commission fault. It's the city's fault. It's your fault. And I don't see not one city council member coming out voicing any concern about the mismanagement of funds that they appropriated for this, and it did not go towards what it was supposed to go towards.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate, and I've seen where they actually talked about that the rent has gone up from where it previously was at $125,000 a month to starting at $237,000 October 1st. And now Spiro Chirigatis is saying, hey, we want to pay it at the previous rate. And, it's not Connie Hudson, obviously, because he did mention that he was with Commissioner Hudson and Jay Ross. But, it's really, you can tell that it's really Commissioner Randall DeWitt that's really pushing the fact that, hey, if this was any other situation, private matter, we'll be calling for an eviction. But because you're the city of Mobile, then we shouldn't, and so they want their money, I think that for it to go up to 125, from 125 to 237 is a great amount that they're talking about. Why is it going up that high? I would want to know. But at the same time, it hasn't also been paid since we're talking about August, I think. So the amount is just adding up and up. So I think that a lot of money of funds have been derailed for other reasons. I don't know if the city council is actually looking at the balance sheets, but I can suspect that wherever the money is going, these different projects that Mayor Stimpson, like to say, for example, the Civic Center, this project is being funded to an organization that's not even from Mobile. It's just money being leaked out of the city all the time. Whereas when you look into the past, at some of these big historical buildings downtown, they were created by people from Mobile. I just think that the pouring out of money outside of Mobile is continuously happening.
Yeah, and the Buzz Report did a story about this last night and today. And there was another resident here in the city that voiced also the same concerns. Now I'm beginning to ask another question. The city council supposedly, quote, review this budget before they pass it. They the eyes and the keepers of this city. Am I right or wrong?
Oh yes, you're right. Totally.
Okay, and you tell me that nobody's catching this. Nobody's catching this. So in other words, you're just going down there, making sure your port project is in there, and we just come back out there and pass a budget and hoping everything is fair, because we got a good finance director to put all this stuff together with the mayor, and yeah, we cohorts and make sure everybody deals are in there and we pass it, and whoop the whoop. That's what it seems like, because like I said, not to this moment, I have not heard one city council member or not even a finance director or whoever in charge of paying these bills every month say anything about this in the tune of $711,000 right now, maybe up to $3 million. The county said they've been trying to reach the city. If they have sent documents over requesting a new rate increase or a negotiated lease, why haven't that been provided to the city council? If it has, I mean, why have nobody spoke on it? I mean, it's very strange when it comes down to transparency. But then you passing all of these uh ordinance or whatever, these bonds and these tax packages and building this and that, and right outside of the city hall, you're looking out there every day to see the millions of dollars you have put in for a new civic center, but you can't pay for the window that you're looking out of. And now you had audacity to come and say because you at fault, you want to move city offices into their own building. You should have done that in the beginning, and maybe I wouldn't have had no rent. You could have just took your money and built your building to house city government. But you know, if you enter into a contract and an agreement, honor that. You expect the citizens of this city to pay their tax dollars, to keep the government running, to have a safe place to house government administration. All the pay raise you're giving yourselves, the current mayor got a huge pay raise. Pay raise. Yeah. But the city can't pay rent. And now you want, because you got this huge pay raise, you become the mayor, you want to do buff talk as if it's not your problem or the city's problem, it's somebody else's problem.
He want to talk about behind closed doors.
Right. I mean, and for the fact that you to come and say, oh, this is not never hit the public. It should have been a closed door, a behind the scenes tomorrow. No. That Commissioner Randall did the perfect thing. He did the right thing to let the people know that the people at City Hall is not managing the money of the money of the city correctly. They're not paying their bills as they're obligated to. And I just want to know what these city council members think about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. We have District 2 City Councilwoman who that is where, if I'm not mistaken, that's where the City Hall is located in.
Right.
I don't really hear much from the District 1 County Commissioner.
You don't. And you're bad hard to even see her. You know, I mean, this is what I just don't understand. I don't understand this. You know, you can't ask them the tough questions. They always say I'm accessible. I mean, I don't hear no town halls, no community meetings. I'm just, and like I said, 2026 is election year. And a lot of these people are going to be on the ballot for state offices. You'll see them then because they want your vote. But the last 4 years, how many times have you heard from Vivian Figures?
Right, exactly.
But now when she get tough competition in 2026, she's begging you for your support. Like she been there for you all the time. Like she been having a conversation with you all the time. Now I'm not against Vivian Figures. I'm just giving an example. It's for the people to decide, not me. But I'm just stating facts.
Right.
She represents me too. I'm in her district. But this is what we have for political leaders. I just can't believe that you passed a budget, the money was there, allocated for that specific reason, and it wasn't used for that. What? Now the question is, where did the money go? What was the money spent on? If it wasn't spent for rent. Now you got to come up and get more money and pull money from something else or from something else to pay this when money was already allocated to it.
Right. What you're going to see is policing get tougher. You're going to see, he's already talked about public safety, so he's going to pull the money from somewhere, and that's when you're going to start seeing different type of creative financing happen in Mobile.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. That's what's going to happen. Like I said, it has to It has to come from somewhere, and they got to pay this bill up, man. But it's just sad to know that we have this problem, and Sandy Stimpson, man, is to blame for this too. You got out
Oh
of
yeah.
office and you claim you left the city on good footing. Man, I'm telling you, these folks is crooks and they're liars just to help somebody win office.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened up under his administration, under his
Mm-hmm.
watch. He was the mayor. The budget was passed under his watch. The rent was delinquent under his watch.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, it does say that it hasn't been paid since August, and so when we look at it said that the rent actually went up to 237,000 in September. So if August would have been 125,000, I think it was, and then you have September at 237,000. What you have September, October, which is 237,000, and then November at 237,000, and then December at the same amount. That is what they're accounting for. It hasn't been paid since August, which the new mayor took office. Was it not too long ago? Actually, I think it was
October.
October. Right.
Yeah.
So October, September, it hasn't been paid. So that means that the October rent money and the September rent money is either, where'd that money go? So was it used for some, inaugural type of parties? I don't know. We did have this big grand lavish party at the grocery store downtown at I wanted to say Piggly Wiggly's, but it wasn't. It is another grocery store. I mean, would they have to take out money just to rent the place out for the evening? I don't know what happened, but that money is floating around somewhere.
Yeah. And at the taxpayers of this city expense, it's sad that the taxpayers of Mobile have to find out. That's a lot of money. That's not something that you ignore right there.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't keep that behind closed doors because you don't want the people to know that you or in the administration in the city is mismanaging the funds of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a huge problem for the city of Mobile, and I think the city council needs to come out. CJ Smart, president, and who's ever in charge of the finance committee needs to come out, make a public statement. They need to find out what happened to those funds and give an account for it, and let the people know of this city where that money went and why the city wasn't paid, why the county wasn't paid on time. If it was allocated, it was in the budget, it was passed. You said the money's there, you said the money's in the bank, the city's on good footing financially. There's some explaining to do. You can't get around it. You just can't throw rocks and hide your hand. You just can't go out there and talk bigly to the citizens of this city when they trust you to make good and sound decisions and look after the city. And you're not doing it. There's some explaining to do.
Right. Tomorrow is December 10th, and January is fastly approaching. So that's going to be another $237,000 rent.
Yeah, and if the county don't get them no leniency on the payments where they can pay the previous amount, but hey, it is what it is.
What do you think about it, the possibility of we have heard about moving out, possibly leaving. Would it be a good thing or a bad thing, or or should just fork over the money?
Well, to my standpoint and my my belief is that the city should have its own building in a way.
Mm-hmm.
They should have had their own city hall. It shouldn't have been there with the county. And that goes back to what I was going to say in the beginning of this, when we started talking about this. I thought when they first built the government plaza, the city and the county put up money to build this. That's my understanding. And then all the leaks on the roof, and the city was repairing and putting up money to repair along with the county. I thought it was equal share of finances for this building. I didn't know that the building was built, the city put up money, helped build it, and then turn around and pay monthly rent on the building. And that's where I'm lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is strange, but we do have it where the county owns it, and the city rents it. So, it's definitely a quandary that we're going to have to figure out here sooner or later. Because according to Commissioner DeWitt, or Randall DeWitt, it's going up $237 each month. And in the article that I read, Spirit Chair Goddess he doesn't want to pay it at the new amount. He wants to pay it at the old amount, which I don't know how that came about. The increase over $100,000 from, July to August. It may have already been in the works, but it's definitely something that, is going to have to get worked out.
Oh yeah. And just a little bit of good news after all of this, man. The city can say they have are getting ready to reopen McGregor Avenue on Thursday. The ribbon cutting is Thursday, and McGregor will have a whole new look and a feel about it coming Thursday, and people can travel back down McGregor Avenue to get to Dolphin Street and other parts of the city and to Airport Boulevard once again after 2 long years. That's been a long time, man, to repair McGregor Avenue. So it's happening on this Thursday. Also, Open City Pritchard, Viger did not get a chance to bring back that championship as they hoped for, but they did have a good run to make it to the state championship. There are some good things that's happening over there, educational-wise and sports-wise there in the city of Pritchard. And I think coming up also tomorrow or tonight, maybe tonight, or maybe Thursday, the water board will be updating the citizens on the water situation there. So that's gonna be some good, some news coming up out of Pritchard with that. But yeah, man, that's what's happening around Mobile, among other things. among other things,
right? Exactly.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, this is as always, man, has been another edition of Uplifting Buzz podcast. But like I said, as I said in the beginning of the show, once again, I want to say on behalf of Uplifting Buzz podcast that we are grateful and we appreciate each and every one of our listeners that have supported us thus far. As I know we started, as I said, this show at the latter part of the 2025 year. And as we go into a new year, we thank you for sticking around, supporting us, listening to us, and sharing our podcast with your listening audience as well. And again, this is Uplifting Buzz podcast. My co-host, Mr. Marcus Grove, and we'll say we're forever grateful and thankful, and we hope that you're having a wonderful holiday season. And we'll start playing some music on next week, some Christmas music that's becoming on the airways for Christmas, and get ourselves into some Christmas spirit and take us on into the new year. But once again, please go to our social media sites, our streaming sites, Amazon, Spotify, all of our streaming sites where you can listen to our podcast. Our website is www.upliftingbuzzpodcast. You can listen anytime, and you can go back and listen to all of our episodes of Uplifting Buzz Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our show, and we are hoping that we are bringing you some valuable and informative information that can keep you informed and having a clean and unbiased dialogue about the things that happen around our community. Until Thursday, we ask you to be blessed and continue to tune in to Uplifting Buzz Podcast. God bless you.